Words by Nonplussed. It's 8 a.m. on a Tuesday. Kojiro lies in bed and stares at his clock, blanketed by ennui. 8:30 a.m. 9 a.m. Tuesday is his only day off every week now that he's in culinary school, so he usually tries to make himself go out, do a little sightseeing, or try out a cafe in the neighborhood. But today he just can't. Just thinking about going outside and having to fumble through every single conversation with his mediocre Italian has him feeling exhausted enough that he can't even get out of bed. He'd been so confident about leaving Okinawa barely 6 months ago. One of the instructors at the school is Japanese Italian, and when Kojiro had emailed her asking if the language barrier would be a problem, she'd been full of promises, of support, and reassurances about the universal language of cooking. And in fairness, between her help and Kojiro's own fledgling Italian, he's following along in class just fine. But outside of class, he's only getting by with lots of gestures and sheepish smiles and the painstaking, imperfect translation from his phone. For all that Kaoru calls him an idiot, he's never actually felt like one until coming to this country. Some days, he feels like a different person entirely, a shadow of the real Nanjo Kojiro who'd love talking to new people and exploring new places, and a brisk knock echoes through his apartment, interrupting his heavy thoughts. Kojiro looks away from his clock, 9:20 a.m., to his bedroom door. Shit, there's someone outside. A neighbor? His landlord again? Ah, fuck, he's going to have to talk to someone about something, and dread fills his gut like stones. It was bad enough last week when his landlord came by to talk about rent, and the knocking starts up again, loud and impatient. All right, Kojiro grumbles, picking a wrinkled shirt off the floor and putting it on. Coming. Fuck, what the hell is that in Italian? Vengo subito. The knocking stops, and Kojiro manages to locate a pair of pants and slouches to the door. He has to take a deep, bracing breath before he can force a smile on his face and wrench the door open. Buon giorno, Kaoru? Kaoru gives him an unimpressed once-over. Well, you look terrible, he says in beautiful, perfectly comprehensible Japanese. Even more terrible than usual, which is saying something. What the hell are you doing here? Kojiro gawps at Kaoru, then sticks his head out the door to look around the corridor outside. Yep, this is still a shitty rental apartment. In Italy. Kaoru sniffs. Your manners are more terrible than usual too. Are you going to make me stand out here much longer? Kojiro moves back to let Kaoru in, still staring. You're supposed to be standing out in Japan. Your grasp of the blatantly obvious is astounding, and astoundingly asinine. Kaoru steps over another discarded shirt, sidesteps a half-empty box of cereal, and surveys Kojiro's entire apartment from the center of his tiny living room, kitchenette, office. And you know what else is blatantly obvious and astoundingly asinine? This. What this? Kojiro shoots back, picking up the shirt to toss it in the laundry hamper. You being here, 'cause we talked on the phone about 48 hours ago, and you didn't say jack about coming here. So if you expect this place to be prettied up, precious, I expected this place to meet basic standards of hygiene, which was clearly too much to ask of a feral gorilla. And maybe basic standards of courtesy are too much to ask from a presumptuous pink-haired tosspot. Why the hell didn't you tell me you were planning to fly up here? I wasn't planning to fly up here until 48 hours ago, so how the hell could I have said anything? Kaoru throws the large duffel bag he's carrying at Kojiro before Kojiro can make sense of that statement. Put that away for me. What am I, your servant? Kojiro asks, already heading to the bedroom to put Kaoru's duffel bag aside. And make me something to eat. The aeroplane food was atrocious. Of course, your highness, right away. Would your royal pain in the ass like an hors d'oeuvre and wine pairing with that? Kojiro calls back, grinning and rolling his eyes as he pads back into the living room. He catches the house slipper that Kaoru flings at his head. Why was there a single slipper on that chair, and where did the other slipper go? And opens his fridge. Well, I got 2 slices of leftover pizza and a can of beer, and half a box of cereal, he adds with a frown, picking the box off the floor and sticking it in the cabinet where it belongs, which is otherwise empty. When had he run out of groceries, and how had he not noticed? Kaoru sits down on the now vacant chair with a hump. And you keep saying you're fine, he mutters. What? Nothing. Well, are you going to get groceries then, or are you going to let a guest go hungry in your house? Guest? Since when do you count as a guest? Maybe I should just let you starve. except then I have to deal with your sad, rotting corpse. Kojiro puts the lonely slipper down neatly next to his laundry hamper, then fishes out his wallet and keys from the mess on the kitchenette's counter. Right, I'll just go. He takes 2 steps and freezes. His smile slips off his face as he stares at his front door. Somehow, he'd forgotten. In the 5 minutes since Kaoru's miraculous appearance, he'd gone back to feeling like himself again, light and easy in his own skin, words sliding off his tongue exactly as he means them. But he's still in Italy, not Okinawa. And once he steps out that door, he's going to become stupid foreigner Joe again. And Hey, gorilla. Kojiro turns around and yelps as Kaoru throws something in his head that he barely catches. The hell, Kaoru? You're trying to kill me? And have to deal with your sad, rotting corpse? Just put it on. Put what on? Kojiro asks. Kaoru gestures impatiently at Kojiro and then his own wrist, which is adorned with a thick black bangle that looks identical to the thing he just tried to murder Kojiro with. That's the AI thingy you've been working on, right? Her name is Carla and she's not a thingy, Kaoru says icily, and Kojiro startles when the bangle in his hand lights up purple at the same time Kaoru's does, and they both chime in robotic unison. Indeed not, master. The hell? You named her Carla? It's a her? Also, I thought she was still in development. She's mostly done. Kaoru clears his throat. Some of us have been making more productive use of our time than lazing around all day. Lazing around? As if you get your lazy ass out of bed before noon. Also, what the hell am I supposed to do with your AI? Kaoru had sketched out his grand plans for an AI that could help him with his calligraphy, with his skating, with all sorts of things. But Kojiro had a sneaking suspicion that the real reason Kaoru wanted to make Carla was to have someone around to talk to, now that Kojiro's in Italy. Not that Kojiro hasn't been lonely too, despite how often they text and video call each other. But he doubts some dulcet-toned bracelet who calls him master is going to help with that. Then again, if Carla called him idiot in a pretty male voice, it would probably only make him miss Kaoru more. But that's neither here nor there. In any case, he doubts Kaoru would ever admit Carla helped him in that way. So when Kaoru says, talk with her, Kojiro only stares at him in blank surprise, which of course prompts Kaoru to make an impatient noise and say, use your words, you blithering idiot. I know you can talk, even if most of what you say is rubbish. As if you aren't full of rubbish yourself, douchebag. Why the hell would I talk to your AI? Talk with her, not to her. Carla, repeat what I just said in Italian. Yes, master. Parla con lei, no a lei. Italian. Was that? Kojiro blinks down at the talking bangle, now lit up a soothing purple. Then, with hope and trepidation tightening his throat, he forces himself to say, Carla, can you say in Italian, sorry, I'm Japanese. My Italian isn't so good. Scusa, sono giapponese. Non parlo bene italiano. Kojiro's brain slogs its way through parsing that sentence. Then he whips his head up towards Kaoru. Holy shit, Kaoru, did you make an AI to help me speak Italian? Kaoru sniffs and looks away. As I've told you before, I made Carla to help me with my calligraphy and my skating. The translation is just a mere feature. Considering how much Kojiro has struggled with every translation app he's tried, he highly doubts this was minor. Holy shit, Kaoru, he says again mindlessly. I think I love you. Kaoru whips his head back around to stare at Kojiro. It takes an embarrassingly long time for Kojiro to actually realize what he said and why that might make Kaoru stare at him like he's the one who started speaking in tongues. Fuck, did he just tell Kaoru that he... So much for being able to say exactly what he means without thinking. Shit. He needs to distract Kaoru or make a joke or something, but even in Japanese he doesn't know what to say. Did you just... Kaoru begins, then lapses into speechlessness himself. A blush rises slowly in his cheeks, and Kojiro belatedly notices that his own cheeks are also feeling hot. Cool! Okay, so... Kojiro stutters out. He takes a stumbling step back towards his front door, which feels far less scary now. Stupid foreigner Joe is way better than stupid in-love Nanjo Kojiro, actually. Right, I'm just gonna... He takes another step back, and suddenly Kaoru is surging out of his seat and lunging for him. Kojiro yelps and ducks for the second time that morning, But Kaoru doesn't let him go far, grabs his face in both hands, and pulls him until their lips crash into each other's painfully. Until they're kissing. They're kissing. Holy shit. Kaoru. Kojiro doesn't know how long they stand in front of his door, clutching at each other, pressing their lips together again and again, in turns bruising and fervent and tender. But when they finally slow down, finally pull apart, Kojiro looks at Kaoru's flushed face and wild eyes, and feels a surging, impossible joy expanding in his own chest. It's Kaoru, Kojiro's personal miracle here in Italy, who appeared at Kojiro's door before Kojiro himself knew he needed him. Kaoru, who made an AI to give him back to himself. Kaoru, who just kissed him. Kaoru. Kaoru opens his mouth, closes it, then opens it again. Kojiro leans in to press yet another kiss against his lips, this one as soft and reverent as he can make it. Hey, he whispers against Kaoru's lips, for lack of anything better to say. Kaoru huffs and tilts his head aside, but Kojiro can see the faint smile spreading across his face. And it doesn't matter that Kojiro doesn't know what to say, that Kaoru doesn't say anything back. They don't need words, in this moment. Kojiro knows they understand each other perfectly. Hi, thank you so much for 70 subscribers. It makes me really happy. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!